Welcome back to Just Thinking. And I'm back, doing what I've learned to do best, and that's just think, right? Continuing the conversation of cognitive behavior, still talking about the cognitive distortions. In the last video, we talked about mind reading, right? Oh, he think he blah, 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 or I already know what you thinking, or, bruh, not cool, bruh, think he hard. Whatever it is, you're thinking you can read their mind, right? And then if you think you can read their mind, you think that you already know what their actions or behaviors are going to be. But you really don't, right? You're just assuming, and then that assuming it doesn't always turn out right. Now, just because you end up being right most of the time does not mean that, you're a mind reader. So that's something just to think about. The next distortion that I want to talk about as far as cognitive is personalization, right? A lot of us tend to personalize things, right? Like, oh man, it's always my fault. Just automatically assuming that something is your fault, automatically assuming that because that person did that or that person said that was directed towards you, right? So, and it can go other ways as well. Like, it's a group of y'all walking and they like, hey, girl, what's going on? You fine. He talking to everybody, but you're automatically just taking it, like it's you personally, right? Just taking that thing and personalizing it. Oh, the whole world is against me. And oh, something happened at the job, and everybody's involved. The boss, calls a meeting and then you're automatically, oh, it was all my fault. Nah, like, don't personalize everything as if you are the only person in this world, right? That's pride, whether it's on the so-called positive side of it or the negative side of it. That's pride to believe that everybody's always talking about you, whether it's good or bad. Everything is all your fault, right? Whether it's good or bad. You made this happen, right? Or, you caused this destruction or whatever. She did that because of me. It's like, no, you're personalizing this thing. And that's a way of thinking that, again, will ruin your relationships with people. It will ruin the way you look at the world, the way you look at your life, because that can lead, to a woe is me, or it can lead to you putting yourself on this pedestal where you might not necessarily belong. Okay, so we don't want to personalize things because we don't know, right? We don't know if the boss is talking to me when they're addressing the entire meeting, right? We don't know if the person that was yelling out that window was talking to you if it was 5 other girls around, right? So it's just something that we have to be cognitive of. The mind reading, we don't know what everybody is thinking, okay? Have a real conversation. Allow that person to relay what they're talking about, okay? We don't know if that person is pointing the finger at me, right? We don't know if we're the reason why that person did what they did. We can't personalize that, right? So far we've discussed 2, the mind reading in a previous video and then personalizing in this video. Okay, we don't want to personalize things because, again, it's something that we don't know, and we don't want to hold onto a burden that's not ours, right? We don't want to take responsibility for something that may not be ours to take responsibility for. So we have to be very careful with personalizing everything, right? Thinking that everybody's against you, right? Thinking that everybody, is paying attention to you. People might not even be paying attention to you. It just might be by happenstance that that person, you know, looked your way, or that person said something that may have resonated with you, but he might have been talking to the person behind you or the person on the other side of you. So let's not personalize things, because then that allows us to jump to conclusions, that allows us to, like I said, carry burdens that aren't necessarily ours, take responsibility for things that we shouldn't be taking responsibility for, right? So cognitive behavior, changing our thinking, right? And in some of them, like I said, some ways don't have to change, right? But there are some things that we have to pay attention to, and we have to make some changes to, because that's going to better, right, our situation. That's going to better the way we view the world. Okay, so we're talking about distortions here. And like I said, we've already talked about two. If you haven't seen the first one, we talked about mind reading. You can go and watch the video on that. And then in this video, we're talking about personalization. God bless. We're going to continue. The healing is here, right? It's here. And like I said, God did some miraculous things with me. And I just want to share it with the world, man. So hopefully it helps you. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please share. God bless.